In this video, I'd like to show you how to change a block pattern into an edge-to-edge pattern. I'll load a simple block pattern in just to start with the diamond. On here, you'll see that there's a green circle here. That means it's the start position, but also there's a big red one, which means it's the end position. So if we look in Optimize, we'll see that it starts and stops there. Okay. What we really need is it to start over here and stop there. So these are the nodes. They're the points where direction changing. So let's highlight there. And there's a lovely tool called Move Start Point. So now the start point is on the side. Which is lovely. But we want it to end over there. Now, you could just draw a line across there if you wanted to, but if you want to stick with the pattern, excuse me, you have to do a little bit of overstitching, and that could either be to that point, or this point to this point. Doesn't really matter, but we need to highlight these nodes, which means left clicking with your mouse and just drawing round them. So I'm drawing round all three in one go there. Let me unselect those. You can do them one at a time, but either way, you have to have the three done. You could draw your line between them, but the way I've done it here, we want to copy that whole section and then we'll be able to place it back. Now the copy option on here, rather than under edit where you'd expect it, is this icon here. So we click on it and you see that we have an extra section. Because there's a bug in PatternCAD, not only has it highlighted the nodes on the copy section, we've still got a couple of nodes highlighted on the main pattern. So the easiest way is to unselect all. Then there's a lovely tool here, select section, which if I use and just draw around one node on the copied part, that then highlights all of them. So I can then move that out. I'm then going to take off the select section because that can be a pain if you don't need it. If I now look in Optimize, we've got a start point there and an end point there. So the theory is if this section was moved down on top of here, it would just seamlessly do it. So I'll just move that down close. I zoom in now. I can see that I'm a little bit off, so I can go over here and do move. Change the step to tiny, and then just come on down. Possibly. Yeah, if it goes pretty solid, so you can see that the line is darker than this one, means that it is over stitching, but that's okay because that's what we need. Could zoom in a little bit more. Doesn't really matter if you're not exact, because when you're actually stitching it out, the tiny differences sort of work themselves out. But if you zoom in, we can see that it's slightly out on one touch. And we're there now. So if we went into Optimize, just click on Reverse Sort, and that will sort it out. So we now start this end and finish there. So this pattern is now fit to be used as a edge to edge. But that was a simple pattern. What if we had something slightly more complicated? Let's pick another pattern. Okay. Let's have a look. I've got this one here. Let's go for that one. This is a bit more complicated, but seems to be starting and finishing down here. So look. Okay. Now we could start it here and finish it here. That would be nice. What we need to do is make sure that this tail is slightly further out than that wing. It looks like it is tinily, is that the word? Tiny bit more, but we could, if we highlight that one, just pull it out a tiny bit more. Let's bring it down here. Now that looks like it's on the same line and a bit further out. So let's go back to select. Remember, we need to overstitch the section, which means copying the chunk that we need to overstitch. So if we start there and we take this section here, where it's coming around there, so we need to highlight that, highlight there, highlight there, highlight that one, and that one. Okay, so we need to copy that out. So we click on copy. Remember, we've still got some nodes highlighted on the original, which we don't want. So we unselect. We come on to select section. You see that that's highlighted that bit. We now need to just join it over the top. And then if we go into optimize, we do auto reverse, that gets rid of it. So we're starting and stopping on that bit. So this has also changed it into an edge to edge pattern. That's all you really need. Well, it's not all you need to do. You have to make very sure that this is lining up, and there's a tool for that. Let's unselect there. Under tools, there's endpoint continuity, which shows us what it's going to look like on the edge to edge. And if we just highlight that one and let's unselect the select section too. I needed to unselect that. It's a pain in the bum if you're not. Oh, you can see that that is joining nicely. Let's have another zoom in. Or not quite joining nicely. So we could do with moving that node up a tiny bit. So we have it selected. But if we use this hide and display, it will take it off, and we can now go to move, and just move, tinily move it down until it joins up exactly. Look at the, right, unhighlight that one, come over this side, and if we highlight that. Useful tip, when you highlight a node and click zoom in, the theory is it should zoom in on that node. Doesn't always, but it goes close. And we'll see that that's spotted on, so that's excellent. Let's get rid of mirrors. Edit, clear mirrors. So now we got a perfect edge to edge pattern there. Are there any other caveats? There are. Sometimes you need to actually add a node into a section. So let's clear that pattern. You'll lose your up if you want to continue. Let's pick a clover leaf. So go unselect them. Now, if we're going to join those together, we really want to join on the widest section of this arc, which is probably round about here. So we really want to move that up so that it's move the whole thing up. Let's highlight it and move it so that we're on a grid line on the widest section. It makes it so much easier to play with. Okay, let's unselect. So we'd really want to have a node here and here so we can do a start point. We need to insert a node. Now this gets a little messy, so what I'm going to do, so that I can get the pattern back to how I want it, I'm going to actually copy this pattern onto a bottom layer, because we got layers, which is exciting. So let's copy to bottom layer. What that does is it means that if I move the pattern out, I can see what it was before I did it, and then I can move it back onto it. Give or take. I'm just going to use the back option. Okay, so you see what I mean. Excuse me. So to insert a node into this option, I select there and there. So we've got that section there, and there's an insert node tool here. Boom. And that's sort of mucked up the pattern, but that's fine because we know what's happening on the bottom layer. So we need to move that node out to there, back to where it was. Okay, and unhighlight it. Then we need to move that node out onto that line there. We highlight that and move that. It's all a bit of pain, but now what it's done, when it put the node in, it converted this section into a line rather than an arc. As if I'm not sure what I mean. If I highlight there, we've got an adjusting handle there. But if I highlight that, we haven't. But we can turn that into an arc section by, if we right click on that now, there's a line type, and we can say arc, and that puts the node in, and I can draw it out there. Tiny bit more. Okay, and select that. We want to do the same on this side. To go insert. So it's done exactly the same over here. Move that in, so we move that out. Because we copied it to the bottom layer, we know exactly where we're going. We're going to copy that out over here. So that's on the same grid line as that. We need to highlight that one. So again, this section, bring that in, unhighlight that. Let's bucket it up again a little bit. Right. Convert that into line type arc. Move that out there. And we've got some messing about here. You can see it's moved it. So let's have a zoom in. So I've highlighted that. So in theory, when I do zoom, it should come in on there. I'll remove that one onto there. There's another little useful tool here, so we can do that. There's a snap selected. That will put the two of them together. And this one, I think, should also be up on. Yeah, that should be up there. Okay, let's let's highlight those and snap those two. I want that one and that one. No, okay, it's playing up. Never mind. We'll just put it on top. Let's zoom in again. Okay. So I'm going to change the start position to this side. Okay. Then I need to copy that section so we get to there. So I'm going to highlight there, highlight that one, highlight that one, highlight that one. I'm going to do copy, unselect all, select section, select section. Now I'm going to move that back onto. We zoom in, we can faff about a bit on the move. So it doesn't have to be exact because it will. While you're stitching, it will not show. But I like to get it as close as we can. And if we go into optimize, we might need to see. We've got two sections. We shouldn't have. That's because it wouldn't let me join that together. So if we click check for breaks and animate stitching, we can say yes to remove that break. Okay. So now we have that converted into edge to edge. Hope that explains how to do it. Thank you.